All the reports I've read, if you know the people who work on East Jerusalem, they basically say that we want to keep Jerusalem sort of as is. The international city model, they understand it's not entirely valid. They may talk about it, but talked about some autonomies and just to keep it united, not divided. And if it's going to be divided in a sense, it's just on the.
It is divided now.
It's not divided now from.
Divided now.
In what sense is divided?
It is divided by.
They want to keep the way it's divided now.
Walls.
I remember I was trying to find. The elections were a dilemma. I was trying at some point to get the meeting between some of the candidates and some of the residents of East Jerusalem. So on the one hand, they say, look, we are very much part of it. We recognize that there is a problem here. There is not equality, allocation of resources, education, etc., etc., etc. On the other hand, we're not going to participate in the election because we're not really a part of it. In Abu Tor, so I went to speak to a friend. This is near. I really apologize for because the street is dirty. There's no road. I mean, it's really not maintained. I'm really sorry. And I told him, look, I know, I see it. And I'm asking him, but tell me something. Are you doing anything about it? Have you tried to organize yourself? He says, no, we can't really speak to the municipality. And I'm asking him, why? Well, have you tried? Because you're a resident, you're supposed to have rights. Have you tried to demand them? He says, no, we don't want anything to do with them. Also, most of our infrastructure is illegal. So if we're going to start dealing with them, we're going to get in trouble. Now, of course, there's no infrastructure. They're not allowed to build legally, so they have to build illegally. But it's so...
They have to be quiet.
It's so complex, up to the point you can almost find no solution to it. In the same token, when I asked them, tomorrow, not a problem, you're going to get your Palestinian state, you're going to get your independence, it's all yours, take it. No. 95%, no.
Because at this point, they don't trust Ramallah to run their lives.
Of course.
I mean, we had a lot of years of Arafat, a lot of years of corruption, and there's a lot of hesitation. But as far as dealing with the municipality, that's, because this is a colonial occupation, and because most of them, in order to live, have to live illegally, it would be crazy of them to go to the very municipality that is secretly every day making sure their property is turned over to Jews. So the whole system in Jerusalem is insane, where even a lot of Jews build illegally because the state owns everything. This is not a place of rights.
I'm saying it. The system is
where they have no recourse.
The system is insane. The whole thing is, you have to understand all the different dimensions just to figure out that you have. Now, by the way, I don't think that this is the right. Some of it, of course, is illegal. But if you have community organizations that will work vis-a-vis the municipality and they will find some people, they will be able to do advocacy. So it's almost to say, like all the Arabs in Israel, they should not work vis-a-vis the Israeli government. They've established a good number of organizations in order to demand the rights and fight for equality, and they were able to eventually be successful with the system.
I agree with. I'm from a country that just made a revolution in terms of making a community organizer a president. So I completely agree in principle. But there's no way that Obama could be president of the United States right now if in the 1950s they had not demonstrated and created a series of anti-discrimination laws that made the United States, at least in principle legally, a country that was dedicated to a level of civil rights that even in Europe, Muslims and others don't have. That set the stage for 20, 30, 40 years that allowed people to community organize to the point where a black man could be president. But you cannot ask that of a Palestinian right now in Jerusalem when there are absolutely no laws protecting him. There's absolutely no police that have a proportionate number of Arabs, no courts, no recourse to very secretive ways in which their land is systematically taken over. If the anti-discrimination laws are passed in Knesset, and this is a place where in principle they can't get away with that, they can be sued, then you can see slowly and surely the 20, 30-somethings starting to have the courage to organize and say, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to build in East Jerusalem in my own village. But how can we expect that voice when at any moment they can be slammed down and punished for even raising their voice?
Particularly the Eastern Jerusalem system, they have it's a separate system. Even educationally, they run somewhat on a different.
But even the amount of Arabs inside Israel who have full citizenship, who work for the government is about 1%, and they're 20% of the population.
Now, by the same token,
And there's no laws that can go against. No, not just affirmative action. It's more basic than affirmative action is laws that can actually punish a governmental official or a police official for discrimination. There is that's the revolution that happened in the United States,
Just recently,
and
there was
that's
a
what we
little
need
girl
here.
who was not accepted into a kindergarten.
Well, yeah, that's horrible.
Into a kindergarten, into a, she's 2 years old, and she's been made into
Now
an
the Israeli
evil.
parents that called up in sympathy and offered, it was all very beautiful, but in
No, the
principle,
parents said no.
No, I meant other kindergartens
Oh, from other
offered, and it
plans.
was quite beautiful. But in the end of the day, this isn't about beauty. It has to be a suit
Yeah,
that says you can't do this.
you have immigrants, Falashmora, living in up north. They live right next to the schools in Afula and Bet She'an. The mayors decided, we don't want you here. The Ministry of Education said we can't do anything about it. Still going on.
You see, that's where it looks like a democracy, but it's not a democracy.
In the West Bank also they're separating Ashkenaz.